T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Let's get ready to sucker!
Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. Big time, lot of sun. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me, yeah. Big time, big time, big time, big time. Running out the numbers, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of crime. Pockets running over with the dollar signs. Try to take it from me. Big time. I got a lot of shine. Running up the numbers, that's a lot of grind. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. I'm big time, lot of shine. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me, from me, from me, from me. Big time, number 9. Got it in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the numbers, that's a lot of grind. Try and take it from me, must be out your mind.
And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the YSN Power Hour, kind of the aftermath after the week 1 of football. DJ Yoakley here. We got Jeff, Coach, and Quinn right next to me. Anthony Romo joins us as well as Billy Mack. Gentlemen, it has been an interesting day already. Some breaking news this morning. First, it was Wyndham and East Palestine being canceled due to COVID. Then it was Mineral Ridge versus Lisbon being canceled, and then you take the two teams that are not affected by COVID in Mineral Ridge and East Palestine, and you pair them together, and now we have one game. So instead of losing 2, we lose 1. Obviously, thoughts and prayers are with our friends at Wyndham as well as Lisbon as they continue to kind of bounce around the coronavirus and fight through that. But we're going to talk about that a little bit more, but that is breaking news. Mineral Ridge will come to East Palestine this Friday night and play the Bulldogs 7 o'clock here in Bulldog country. So that's going to be interesting. Again, breaking news. We had it before anybody else. So not that we're sitting there patting ourselves on the back, but we want to make sure that everybody's up to date and can really start changing their plans, because Mineral Ridge was planning on going to Lisbon, East Palestine planning on being home. So really nobody changes except for the destination for people in Ram country. So keep that up. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But it is almost apropos that it is National Ride the Wind Day. I don't even know what that means. National Ride the Wind Day. So What do we do with that? National Ride the Wind Day. Anybody have any thoughts on that?
I'm just gonna ride my win, the win, baby. Not the wind as in the weather, but like the W that we keep putting out every day.
That's actually not bad.
Billy. You know what? Just for that answer, Billy, you're the wind beneath my wings.
You guys are so bad. Yeah, a little dap on that too from Jeff. Ride the Wind Day? I'm not even sure what that means. No clue. So your other options were National Sponge Cake Day and National Cuban Sandwich Day, which...
Ooh, I love a good Cuban sandwich.
Really?
Yeah.
What is that?
I thought you were going to say like Cuban cigar. I was going to be like, I'm in.
Yeah, listen, anything from Cuba's pretty decent except socialism.
Okay, so here's what I'm...
Okay. Well, that was... all right, here we go.
Here's what I'm going to say. So... we took a trip to Toledo on Saturday to follow Jackson Milton out there as they played Hilltop. Everybody in Toledo said you have to try Toledo hot dogs. You have to go to this one place, and it's called Tony Paco's. So Sarah and I ventured over to Tony Paco's after the game, tried to get into the Mud Hens game. It was almost sold out because it's a baseball city. They didn't have any hats, which I was kind of pissed off. They did not have any hats that fit me, so I was upset. So we tried the hot dogs, right? This is what they're known for. And it's chili, onion, mustard with, I forget what else it was. And it's like a unique hot dog. And it's a Toledo hot dog and Front Street hot dog or something like that. It's not a hot dog, it's kielbasa. Straight up. Like we took one bite and we're like, nope, this is kielbasa. This is not a hot dog. So my question to you, because we argued, I wouldn't say argue, we kind of gestured that Youngstown hot dogs in the area of Youngstown have the best hot dogs. We got, the Jib Jab. We have my personal favorite being the hot dog shop. So my question to you guys is, what's the best hot dog that you've ever had, and where did you have it? Romo, let's start with you.
Jib Jab in Hubbard, but that's not a place anymore. It was at the Truck Road in Hubbard. But I mean, Jib Jab and Gerard, their hot dogs are still amazing. So that'll be my vote.
One down for the Jib Jab, Mac.
If we're just gonna discount like at home, I'm a Trumbull County dude, so like hot dog shop all day, every day times 2.
All right, I can respect that. And how about the back room?
Mine's that hot dog place there. What is that? I think it's just the hot dog shop, Chippewa.
Yep.
I think that's what it's called.
New Brighton.
New Brighton hot dog shop. Yep.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I think so.
There's one in Salem now too.
The Brighton hot dog shop, not New Brighton. Yeah, that's
Brighton, whatever.
yeah.
Sure. That's my go-to.
Okay, Coach.
For me personally, it's a Chicago style dog from Chicago, and you can get it at basically any street vendor there.
Okay, Jeffrey.
Out and everything on top of it, fantastic.
Mine will have to go be. Sorry, no voice. Mine will
Where's
be.
your voice at?
West Virginia.
Left it in West
Wheeling.
Virginia.
Yeah, it's down in Wheeling. I'm gonna go with Jay's hot dogs. They're pretty amazing.
Jay's famous hot dog, right?
Jay's famous hot dogs, and the only Jay's I would go to is the one on 224, because the dude puts them up his arm, and I'm like, I need that in my life.
Now the question becomes, what makes, as Paul turns his light on, what makes it a good hot dog? Is it the snap of the hot dog? Is it the
Good coleslaw?
Juiciness.
Listen,
juiciness of the
I
dog?
honestly think that it's not a good hot dog unless it's rested in that hot dog water for like 9 days.
For how long?
Like 9 days.
You live by your.
It's got to lay in there.
Coach has them just marinating in
That's
hot
right.
dog water. That's it.
Grilled or boiled? What's better?
Grilled.
I like
Grilled.
grilled.
Yeah, I'm
Grilled.
personally a grilled fan, but when you're doing like ones from the street vendors, they're always coming boiled.
Oh yeah.
They're still good though.
They are.
Paul, best hot dog you've ever had. Where's it from?
Oh man, I think it's the what is it? Is it Coney Island over there in Newcastle? I think it's Coney Island.
I've never been. I mean, I've been in Newcastle. I've never been Coney
It's
Island.
it's just on the outskirts of Newcastle. I mean, you just get the hot dogs. It's just a hot dog in a bun. You can either ask for ketchup, mustard, you can get chili on it, or you can get like their special it's like a beef chili kind of sauce. You get onions on it. I used to get them. We used to drive from here, and I lived in North Lima, all the way over there just to get them. They sell them in boxes of 5, and I took the girls over there last year, and listen, everybody knows I like to eat, so I'm not afraid to say this. I got a box of 5 of the chili dogs, and the girls shared a box of 5 of ketchup-only hot dogs, and they absolutely loved them.
What did Carrie eat?
I actually saw reliable sources there that day, too. It was pretty funny.
I don't know if he can be reliable sources after today because there was not a whole lot of breaking news going on there. I think he was taking our news the majority of the afternoon. So best of luck to you, little buddy. Keep on trucking. Keep on trucking. All right, it's time for our Baird Brothers Would You Rather, brought to you by our friends over at Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Visit them on the web. Visit them on the web at bairdbrothers.com. Today's question, would you rather have a shoe or an award named after you? Would you rather have a shoe or an award named after you, and why? Let's start with you, Paulie.
Well, is the award go on forever?
I don't know. Does the shoe go on forever?
Well, yeah. I mean, but the shoes could, maybe they could stop making them and now they're vintage shoes, or, like the Heisman Trophy. That's going to go on forever. That's named after a guy. So,
Carrie says you're a major award.
I know I am. I'd rather have the award.
Okay. Any particular reason why?
I don't want some kids shitting on my shoes. Like, oh, those Munson shoes suck, man. They don't fit right.
What kind of shoe would the Munson be? That's all I want to know.
Listen, I was a fan of the Reebok Pump back in the day. I really liked those.
It would
those
have
are pretty
to be like Air Monarchs, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I'd go maybe with some BK looking things, the old British Knights.
BK. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. My brother would pick shoes. My brother's got tons of shoes. He's an idiot when it comes to shoes. He'll go out there and spend that $200 on a pair of shoes, and he's got 30 pairs of shoes. Me, I don't care.
I'm interested to see how this goes because I think there's a lot of people that might pick shoes. Roma, what are your thoughts?
I'd have to go with the award because like Paul was saying, you're you made a good point. No one's really going to talk that bad about an award like they could a shoe. Because there could be a lot of hype surrounding the release of the shoe, and let's say it gets released and everyone hates it, and then you can't come back from that.
So what kind of award would the Anthony Romo Award be?
I think it would be some type of sportsmanship award. I feel like that would be a great way to have my name remembered.
I'm sorry, we're getting breaking news right now that they already have a Munson shoe. There it is. There it is. The Air Munson.
Old school version.
Were those the AM ones?
Yeah.
The Munson ones.
No, those were the SB ones.
Snowbird ones. Mac, what are you taking? You taking the award or you taking the shoe?
I'm gonna go the shoe, only because I think I would be the only person that could rival Jordan in his shoe game.
Ooh. What kind of shoe would it be?
It'd be like a low top to a mid shoe. And again, I just want to put this out there, Adidas, if you're out here and you need someone to bring your shoe game back, I'm here for you at a low cost of a super huge royalty. So that's all we'll do.
Super huge royalty. That's it. All right, boys. Let's see what you got. Quinn?
I'm going to go shoe.
I knew it was coming.
I'm a big shoe guy. Yeah, I'm a big shoe guy. And, I don't want an award after me because I can only imagine what that award would be. So,
Coach?
I'm going award. I have no use for having a shoe named after myself. And honestly, at my advanced age now, it'd probably be something with orthotics.
Diabetic shoes?
Yeah.
I don't know that word.
I'm going award.
The gout specials.
The gout specials.
And I'd like my award to be for the guy that has the best coach speak every year.
We put you to the test earlier. You did well.
You did. I think I passed. Well. I hope I passed.
Flying colors, buddy. Jeffrey?
I'm going to go with an award. And it's just be smarter than Jeff Bezos award. That's all that award would be. It's not going to be very hard to win.
Everybody gets one.
Everybody gets an award. I'm like Oprah handing out awards. You get one.
You get an award.
You get an award. You get an award. Not you, kid.
Literally, the participation trophy has been changed to
That's what it is.
Jeff
I'm
Bezos.
here to make sure everyone gets an award, and at least it can go down as the Jeff Bezos I'm Smarter Than You award.
Can we call it the Jeff Bezos Memorial?
He's not dead yet.
I know, but that's what
happens. And I like it's like put that on your college application, like
Jeff's dead inside, so we can just go ahead and give him.
I can see it. Somebody's like, I know Jeff Bezos. He's not dead yet. How did you get the memorial award?
Yeah. And we can't call it an annual award because he might forget a couple letters and it might be something else.
The anal award for Jeff Bezos. Oh, he's dead. There he goes. Now it's a memorial.
Got it back a little bit. I'm bringing it back.
I'm going shoes. I mean, it's no secret I like shoes, but I also think that you can get to more people can reach your shoes and wear your shoes than handing out just an award, unless it's the Jeff Bezos I'm Smarter Than Jeff Bezos award, whatever that is. Then you're looking at masses. So I would go shoes, and it's no surprise to anybody that they would have red, white, and blue all over them. So I'm going shoes. But an interesting question nonetheless, again, brought to you by our friends over at Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Visit them on the web at bairdbrothers.com. All right, guys, we are on to today's top topics, and obviously cancellations for COVID being right at the top of the list. I guess the best question is this something we're going to be dancing around all season? And do you think it will be as bad as last season moving forward? Kind of a caveat off of this, something we've already talked about internally. At what point does the OHSAA just say, listen, everybody's in the playoffs again? Because you're going to have teams with 8 games, 9 games, 7 games, 10 games all over the place. And how is that fair for these teams that aren't able to kind of change their stuff up? I mean, Matt, from a Sebring's perspective, you guys in Letonia are scheduled for Week 11. That's a make or break. It could be a make or break game to get into the playoffs. It's tough for the OHSAA. It's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, you're right. And that game's actually scheduled for during the first week of the playoffs. Now, my understanding is the way that the contract or the deal with them has been basically signed is when both teams are available. And we actually had to go to the OHSAA and go to BORUG and get special approval for that. And at that point in time, they decided that they were going to handle it just as last year. You've got 15 weeks to play 10 regular season games. The way that they did it last year when you were eliminated from the playoff, or actually you can't call it a playoff last year, it was a tournament because everybody was invited. And so when you're eliminated from the tournament, then you can continue to make up regular season games, but you only have 15 weeks to do so.
So let's say that you're just a few points off the margin of making the playoffs this year, and they intend on doing it the same way. That game in Week 11 could make or break somebody's season, and you can't play that because it's scheduled for Week 11. How does that work?
No, you're right. And so what they've done in past years is, everybody knows Joe Idle and goes to the website there to kind of check the playoff picture. And I know Drew Pasture isn't doing his this year. But in the past, people used both of those sources. The OHSAA actually met with Joe already this year and wanted to find out, hey, how do we do this formulation with games that are canceled or games that are postponed or anything that happens. And in previous years, you had to play at least 8 games to qualify for the playoff. I think that this year, like you say, they're going to have to say, hey, we're going to put everybody in again. But the problem is that they've already opened Pandora's box, because last year when they made the decision before the season happened, the leagues all decided that, hey, we're only going to play league games and figure it out from there. Teams have already played games against non-league opponents, and so the leagues will be upset that they won't be able to have conference champions if you don't play the entire league schedule. So now you're potentially looking at a football season that lasts well into the month of December.
Paul, when you look at this situation, it's chaotic for you on many different levels, being our scheduler and key guy that's trying to get people to games and get them announced. Talk to me about, where do you see the chaos becoming really just front line? I mean, we're seeing this already and it's still warm out. We haven't even made it to the Canfield Fair yet. Do you think things are going to get worse after fair season?
100%. Because I think what's going to happen is you're going to be looking at this where, we've already had, 2 games this week. get canceled. One got picked back up because now they got a team to play. And, you're shuffling people around on our aspect, on our line of it. Yeah, I'm shuffling guys around, getting guys to go there. Can they go there? As we were talking, I just filled another game in. So we have another game. Saturday's games are done now. And you're just like looking. And I was actually talking to one of our announcers on the way home. And it's crazy. Like, where did all this happen over the summer? Like, we didn't hear of anybody not having their summer practices. There was soccer going on, there was volleyball going on, there was football going on. They were having their summer practices, their 2-a-days, all that stuff. Didn't hear these kids not being able to practice then. Now all of a sudden, school's starting, and now all of a sudden you're sitting there going, well, these kids are quarantined. Now they gotta go away from each other, and now we're gonna cancel games. I know when I talked to an AD last week, he was adamant that he wants to go back to how they did for basketball. Certain schools did for basketball was, okay, Joey, you're sick, get away. Everybody else tests okay, everybody's good? Yep, okay, keep moving on. Sorry, Joey, we're going to leave you on the side of the street until you get better and just keep trucking. So
side of the street?
Yeah, hey, we're driving the bus, you're sick, we're going to pull the bus over, you're getting off, and we're going to keep moving forward and try to play these games, because if not, like Coach said, you're going to be sitting there trying to pick up games all over the place, because you're going to try to make that Sweet 16, if you want to call it that, and get into the playoffs. And if not, then like Coach said, you're just going to sit there and go, all right, guys, guess what? You know what? Or even like you said at the beginning, everybody gets in now, everybody, because we can't make it fair. Because if Sebring's got 7 games and they're battling against a team who's got 10 games, well, do you start factoring things in? Do you only put the factor in for the 7-game factor? It's just, as soon as school gets back in, and even schools don't know. I sat in meetings all day today, and some of them are still like, well, we're going to try to do this. We can't mandate this yet. If people want to do this, they can. But if this doesn't happen, then you can maybe do this. And it's like you're playing a shell game. Nobody has answers.
It's what last year was. It's everybody's waiting for the governor to make these decisions for them so they don't have to be the bad guy. I firmly believe that. And I know that these superintendents and school boards, they want to do what's best for their school. But at this point, you can't make we had someone today that said, why can't these schools, leave the kids alone? It's not the school's fault if there's a COVID test. Their job is to protect all their kids, and make the best informed decision for all their kids as opposed to just one. So people just need to take a deep breath. Now we understand that it's challenging circumstances and it causes inconveniences, but we were seeing, and I don't know how deep Matt wants to go down this rabbit hole, but we were seeing people, media outlets complain about, they were hearing that Sebring was running from Toronto, and that couldn't have been further from the truth. They had already put stuff in that said, hey, we're playing Leetonia on such and such a date, cleared it with the OHSAA. When you hear stuff like that, it's just garbage, is it not, Matt?
It is, and that's legitimately what it came down to. Was Toronto reached out to us at about 5 o'clock on Thursday, and anybody that's ever coached football knows you watch film, you break down film, you get your kids ready for a game. Hats off to Toronto for finding a game on short notice. But we had already actually inked a deal with Leetonia to make that game up and gone to the OHSAA and gotten special approval for it. It was already assigned as a game in arbiter. There were already officials assigned to the game. It would have been twice as big of a headache to go back and undo everything that had been done to get that game back onto the schedule at the tail end of the season than it would have been worth to be able to go play that game on absolutely no notice, having never seen the team on film before.
We're looking for a straight shooter.
I just love DJ MC Trojan over there with his got half the headset on, half not, so he can hear all the tunes.
Listen, I'm bringing you the slow jams here on YSN Radio.
We're looking for a straight shooter right now. Matt, give it to us. Give us a silver bullet. What's going to happen? What do you anticipate happening with all this COVID stuff? Is it going to get better before it gets worse, or the other way around?
No, unfortunately, I honestly believe that this is.
He said Mac.
Oh, my bad. I thought you said Matt. Hold on, I'll put my other headphone on.
I thought you said Matt too.
He's basically on the same page as I'm thinking. Unfortunately, I don't see. I look at this as I said this last year, actually around the same time, as this is baseball season with weather, but instead of weather, substituted for COVID. You're going to have so many teams with 6, 7, 8 games. And some schools do a really good job, or some schools do a really good job of testing and not testing, and just all those things cost money. So there's no definite answer. That's kind of the issue that you're having is they're waiting for governors to say that. But even if a governor says this, like, there's no saying that the financial ability at everybody's school is capable of testing and doing things a certain way. So you can't really necessarily just have a plan. You got to have a plan upon a plan upon a plan, and at some point it's like, is it worth it? Let's just cancel it.
Turn it over. Go ahead, DJ Wiggles.
Snare in my headphones.
Eminem. There's no snare. Can I get some snare?
Can I get some snare in my headphones? Rumbo, what are you thinking about this? I mean, you guys are coming off an unbelievable game. TC Caffey runs for 1,000,000 yards week 1. And not that we would ever want to see this, but like, there's some momentum that goes with week 1, and coming up week 2, you got Mooney, which is the biggest game in town for a lot of different outlets. What would happen if that game would have to be postponed? It's craziness. Talk to me about what you would think about something like that.
Well, if that game were to, let's say, get canceled and there was no makeup date, I don't even know, because this was a 1-year thing. We're not playing them again next year, like most schedules have 2-year contracts. We're not playing them again. Hubbard 0-14 all time against Mooney coming into this week, and it's
so that's why you got off work.
It's looking like it's going to be a good game. So if that were to get canceled and not rescheduled at all, it would just leave a pit in everyone's stomach. Everyone's been looking forward to this. Hubbard, they haven't had they haven't had a team of this magnitude non-conference come into Hubbard in, I don't even remember how long.
Since the last time they did, right?
Yeah, I believe the last time they faced off in the regular season was when Hubbard was in the Steel Valley. That was 40-something years ago.
It's going to be interesting. We might as well break the news and let you know that YSN Primetime will be live from Hubbard this Thursday night, 5 o'clock on. We will be Romo will be there. We think we'll find a Jamie somewhere around those parts. I'm sure he'll pop up somewhere. Steve Leslie, Todd Thorne, Billy Mack will be there. I'll be there to host, and we're going to talk to the players, the coaches. We're going to touch base with we're going to talk a bit to Mooney people. We want to hear from them as well, and we will preview all the games on Friday and Saturday. That's coming up Thursday on YSN Primetime, live from the home of the Hubbard Eagles, the Eagles Nest, if you will. That'll be Thursday, 5 o'clock, right here on YSN. Let's talk about the first week of football here quickly. Most impressive team across the board to you in week 1. Romo, I just got a crazy feeling I know who you're going to say.
I won't say Hubbard.
Whoa!
Well, I'm sure we'll talk about that game in some way. If it wasn't Hubbard, they had an amazing performance Friday. That offensive line created so many holes, but if I were to take another route, I'd say Canfield. They came into that game against Poland, battled 224, so much on the line. They, besides that first drive from Poland where they marched down the field, and then when Canfield stuffed them at the goal line and forced them into a field goal, the rest of the game, Brock Lowry just took over. And Canfield did a great job keeping Poland's explosive running attack kind of at bay. So I'm going to say, my unbiased opinion, the most dominant team for me was Canfield.
Canfield, wow. Okay, Muntz. I have a crazy suspicion I know where this is going as well.
Well, hey, I'm going to pull the shocker on you too, and I'm not going to say South Range. Listen, if you ask me, I expected them to go there and do that. So Honestly, I think they had to show that they weren't a young team anymore, and I was impressed with Jefferson. Jefferson, everybody was kind of doubting a little bit, and they went and they took care of business, and they were a young team last year. They were like a lot of sophomores, not very many juniors and seniors on that team. So they went out and they proved that they're a pretty good team. So I mean, we'll see how that goes throughout the year. But of course, I think everybody's going to think I was going to say South Range, but I completely thought they were going to do exactly what they did. So. I don't know. I mean, when you watch the game, it was a dominant performance. And so, unfortunately, I think Springfield's going to do just fine in their league, and I think they'll do good the rest of the year. But, unfortunately for Bo, it's almost a one-man show, and it's a lot of rocks to carry, all by yourself. So
that'll be interesting. Mac, how about you?
Well, I'm not going to say Ursuline, although I think they had the toughest team to beat over the weekend, and they lived up to that. But man, when you win 40-0, I think that says a lot. And they had some questions. LeBray had some questions on whether or not they could stop the run, and that was a point of attack for Coach Armenian, and they didn't give up 100 yards all game. So to me, it's LeBray. It's the three-headed monsters in that backfield, and with Drake and Stevens and Devin Carter, and I think that they're going to be tough to beat, and they don't turn the ball over. And even Aiden Stevens was slinging around. He was a 70% clip. So to me, that when you beat a team 40-0 and it just looked like a glorified scrimmage, that's impressive.
All right. Speaking of three-headed monsters, let's go to it. Quinn?
I'm going to go with Fitch. 27-0 shutout of Cheney. That's Cheney's very athletic. We knew that coming in. And Fitch just kind of didn't get phased by it. It was something interesting. I was kind of speechless about it. Very impressed with the way TJ has his defense playing right now, actually. So I'm going Fitch.
Coach, you were in the gunner's chair on Friday. Was there anybody that stood out to you on tape first time through?
Yeah, so Muntz, you didn't need to pick South Range because I'm going to take care of that one for you.
All right.
I was actually very impressed. Not necessarily with the fact that South Range won, but they won in such convincing fashion. The thing that impressed me most was the way that they were able to control the clock and keep the ball out of the hands of Bo Brumgard.
I like it. Jeffrey?
I'm going to go with Ursuline. They really had a big task in hand going up against Bishop Hartley, and they just showed up. That got into a shootout a little bit, and proving that they can score a lot of points. And I bet you that Ursuline's defensive coordinator is going to figure it out and not give up that much points anymore. But got to have a lot of confidence in that team, just going in there knowing, wow, we're back and forth, and you come up with a good stop down at the end of the game like that, and yeah.
Are you trying to kiss and make up with me?
No, I'm not. I'm not. I was gonna go with. I was gonna go with South Range, but Coach picked it. I was gonna go with LeBray. You picked it, so I went with Ursula.
Is that approved by Billy Mack right there? Stamp it.
Go ahead,
stamped. It's stamped. I'm gonna go with a team that I believe in and not a whole lot of other people believe in outside of their own locker room. That's Warren JFK. The way that they played on Friday night against Champion, look out. Look out. I've got people that have texted me and said, we're going to make you look like a genius, because I went on and said that Warren JFK is not only going to be back in a championship game, but they are going to win a state championship here this year in Division 7. I really think that it's them against the world. It's a situation where it's them against the world, and they went out and proved it against a champion team that I don't think is going to be too doggone bad this year. So keep an eye on Warren JFK this year as they continue to fly high in their sporting department, if you will. So I'm taking the most impressive team in week one that hasn't been picked yet, but that I've picked the whole way is Warren JFK.
We pick a sleeper team?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm convinced Lowville's going to be pretty good.
Dude, what did he have? 7 touchdowns. Vinny had 7 touchdowns, and then he had one rushing as well. I mean, he's going to be hard to stop. He's like watching Vince Young when he went to UT. I'm just convinced it was. And again, another team that I thought everybody was down on this year, Columbiana. They're not going to be that bad. They're going to be just fine. They're going to be just fine. Any sleeper teams for you guys?
I mean, to go off the original part of this, which I would say another dominant team in week 1 had to be Salem for me. I mean, they controlled that Crestview game from beginning to end, and Crestview was a team that gave South Range a run for their money in the playoffs last year. I mean, they advanced pretty far, and that was a good team last year. I mean, I know I'm guessing that they would have graduated a lot. I don't know.
They graduated a ton of kids.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that hurt them pretty bad.
But still, I mean, Salem there, and I announced their last game last year, their last playoff game. They lost to Poland, but Jamie and I were there, and they were up like 20-0 in like the first 5 minutes of the game, and then Poland came rolling back. But Jackson Johnson, he's a stud.
Yep. Paul, who's the team that you're most impressed with other than your first pick?
I mean, I want to talk about them, and I know we've talked about them, in different shows, but and they're going to get a big test come Saturday. But Valley Christian, Valley Christian going out and putting a whooping on Camel was big. And I mean, hey, Billy, I said they're going to get a good test this coming Saturday as they are going to host LeBray coming in town. But I mean, listen, the high expectations for that team down there with the new coach, and they went out and took care of business week 1. And that's a big feather in their cap. Hey, coach, here's your first win. Let's keep rolling. And they're going to go out there again. I mean, the nice thing is they don't have to travel because they're going to be, they played Camel at Camel, and that's where they play their home games at Camel. So they're going to be right back there on Saturday. So
West Branch, I think, impressed a lot of people too, because we were expecting to see a really close game with East Liverpool, and West Branch came and planted the flag. I mean, they just showed and said, listen, we might have lost some people, but West Branch is going to reload and not rebuild. And I was really impressed. I couldn't believe it when I got the text updates throughout the night that West Branch had was it 46-6? Something like that? I mean, that's wild. That's wild, because that's an East Liverpool team that is pretty good. Pretty good. And I thought Beaver Local, too, was a surprise. I thought Beaver Local was going to be able to walk away with that one. But Indian Valley is a team that, is going to be on people's radars this year. So we're going to take a break. We're going to talk more about week 1 when we come back. We'll check the mailbag, so to speak, on the chat, and we will return with the Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark at the end of the show. So get your sparks ready, boys. All of that and more coming up on the YSN Power Hour, brought to you by these great sponsors.
Working with your family can be stressful at times, but because they're family, you know that you're going to get a loving, honest answer, even when things don't make sense, to any problem. Dealing with Medicare can be confusing and overwhelming. That's why here at Myers Family Insurance, we do our best to give you honest and caring answers to all of your questions. Family, like Medicare, isn't always perfect, but when you put others first, the results can be amazing.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance.
We are there in your community. Small business owners, mechanics, police officers, homemakers, and we are there serving our nation in the Air Force Reserve. When medical emergencies arise, in cybersecurity, when natural disasters happen, we are there in space. We are Reserve Citizen Airmen, and we are there with over 180 different jobs to serve your country. Air Force Reserve.
Come see one of the Valley's hidden gems. The Back Nine Bar and Grill on the Berlin Lake Golf Club is the perfect place for fellowship, fame, food, and fun. Check out our daily specials and ask about memberships. The Back Nine Bar and Grill on Hartzell Road in North Benton. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. DJ Yoakley and a few of my friends here for the YSN Power Hour. we talked about the teams that impressed us. Let's talk about the players that really left their mark on week 1. Romo, let's just go ahead and start with you.
TC Caffey of Hubbard, senior running back, 35 carries, 456 yards, 5 touchdowns in week 1 against the Norwayne team that was in the regional final last year. They were 9-1 last year, lost to Springfield on a trick play. Caffey, actually, if you look on Max Preps, he's the second leading rusher in the nation right now. And the only reason that there's one guy ahead of him is because he played 3 games and he only has like 100-something yards more than him. But, I mean, it was insane. I mean, we start off, first possession for Hubbard, he drives him all the way down the field. And then we had a QB sneak on 4th and goal that we scored on. And then besides that, there was one other touchdown where it was a 70-yard misdirection play to Yanni Haas-Mihalis. But other than that, TC scored every other touchdown for Hubbard. I mean, whether it was a short touchdown, whether it was a 93-yard touchdown run like he had, where Hubbard started their drive on their own 1 and he gained all 99 yards to get to the end zone. And then right after that, I mean, he had a 50-something yard run on the next drive that set up a later touchdown run for him yet again. I mean, it was crazy. And then just yesterday, he gained his second Division I offer from Charlotte. That's his first Division 1A offer. Youngstown State was his first offer, but they're 1AA. It was crazy, and I'm just hoping that we'll see more of that this week.
So, from a barometer standpoint, TC Caffey, is this what to expect this year? We got 9 more weeks of 500 yards a game.
I think the sky's the limit for him. I mean, our line created major holes, and Norway's line was pretty big themselves, but it's going to be a big test this week. I mean, Mooney, I've heard they had some injuries on their roster, but their line isn't to be messed with. Mooney has a very good line themselves, so it's going to definitely be a battle in the trenches. And if Hubbard wins just a little bit more of those battles and creates some of those holes for TC, I think that momentum can shift at any time, because on any play, he's capable of breaking a touchdown out of whatever play call it is. So I think there are some teams on the schedule that I think that Hubbard will be able to handle. But we'll see this year. I don't want to go out on a limb and make any crazy predictions and then not be able to back them up. So.
I can appreciate that. Paul, we'll take a quick time out here from the conversation. BMAC saying, not your coverage area, but Streetsboro versus West Geauga canceled. Didn't we just have somebody play Streetsboro?
Yep.
Yes, Gerard.
Yeah, and they won. So you got to wonder who's sick. Is it West Geauga or is it Streetsboro?
Yeah, because
question.
We did the dots earlier with the Mineral Ridge, Lisbon, and East Palestine and Wyndham. We might be seeing another cancellation here. Fingers crossed we don't. This is turning into an absolute. I can say it's turning into a shit show, and I do not envy the position of athletic directors, superintendents, and school boards right now. Like it's got to be just absolutely crushing for them to go through the summer, like you mentioned, and now we're back to this. All right, so not that it's on our coverage map. BMAC, thank you as always for contributing. Streetsboro, West Geauga canceled for this coming week. So, Paul, who stood out to you? I mean, you got to see one heck of a ball game on Friday nights. Was there anybody that stood out to you either at the game or that you were hearing tossed around?
I mean, for me, it was a slam dunk. I mean, it was Billy Skirpak. He stepped into the starting quarterback role. He had only won the starting job about a week ago. It was between him and Ethan Zins. They were battling out on who the quarterback was going to be. And he won the job and went out there and, proved in the, obviously it's week 1, but still it's one of the biggest games for South Range is, playing their rival in Springfield and having to go against Bo Brungard and company. But he went out there, threw for over 200 yards, rushed for over 100 yards, had 3 touchdowns. So, I mean, the bright lights didn't bother him. I mean, I know that he stepped in a couple times last year and filled in for Michael Patron when Patron went down. But getting that starting position, knowing that, hey, this team is yours. Being a backup's one thing. The pressure is totally different. when you're a backup, you got to go in there. Don't screw it up. Like, the starting quarterback's probably going to get healthy. He'll be back soon enough. It's his team. So, don't screw something up. But now you're sitting there and this is your team. The coach says, here's the ball, your team, take care of it. And he did. He went out there on the big stage and, at their place. And like I said, he balled out. He had a good arm. Throws looked really good on the spot. And when he had to run, he was hard to bring down. So, I mean, it was impressive to see that, because I think everybody worried about that. Like, yeah, everybody knows there's a wrecking ball behind him and what's going to happen there. And he found a good tight end in Leon. I mean, Leon had over 100 yards receiving, but Billy had to step up, and he stepped in there and said, hey, guys, let's go. And they got a win. So I was impressed with that.
Shauna being a YSN reporter here this afternoon, saying that West Geauga looking for week 2 game. So do the math. It tells you that it's going to be Streetsboro, and now conversation begins around Girard. You have to believe. You hope that's not the case, but when they do that contact tracing, it goes on back. So
yeah, we were consulting the big board back here, and it appears that they play Liberty this week.
Who's that?
Girard.
So it could be multiple member schools affected.
Yeah, so that's not good. That's not good. Quinn, who stood out to you this week from a player standpoint?
Well, first of all, I hear the ice cream truck, so I might be bailing soon. Individual standpoint, I'm going to go Austin Klein from Beaver Local. He set the school record for completions. He had 21 completions, 30 attempts, 290 yards, 3 touchdowns. So I'm going to go with Austin Klein.
Coach, is there anybody that's making you shake your coffee a little bit as you start looking towards tape?
Yeah, I mean, there were quite a few kids that stood out over the weekend, and obviously, kind of sitting in the captain's chair for audible call made a couple guys pop. But I think the one that popped the most to me was the moves that the Benovsky kid has from Louisville. Oof. That kid is lightning.
Yeah, I think he's going to be one of the area's top receivers this year, if you ask me, just from what he showed and some of the ins and outs and cuts. Jeffrey, how about you? Did you catch anybody or see any statistics you liked?
I did. I saw, and he's pretty good. Knowing that I know him pretty well is Connor Jones. He's a linebacker, ran the ball a couple times for South Range, made a couple big plays. The kid has just gotten bigger and a little bit faster than he was last year. And the kid just plays football like the old style football that we all loved. Like, he's crazy, talking to him, because he texted me and his brother when we were hanging out, like after they scrimmaged Mogador, and he said, I found a new switch. And me and his brother were sitting there being like, that's crazy to find a new switch. So, yeah, it's Connor Jones.
All right. Billy?
This is a off the backboard reverse dunk, easy for me. Brady Shannon, 5 tutties, as Jeff Bezos would say, close to 300 yards passing against the top 10 team in the state. He just simply is cool and calm back there. You were at the game too. You never saw him panic. It was just, all right, let's go score again. All right, let's just go score again. So it was just, to me, it was just Brady Shannon. I mean, I know he's up there in everybody's mind as one of the best players in the area anyway, but he didn't need a coming out party, but he kind of solidified his stamp saying, hey, I'm still here. Don't forget about me, guys.
Roma?
I was going to say, I forgot this part. Had a little bit to add on to this week's broadcast, Hubbard versus Mooney, and then, I don't know, possible YSN primetime the day before. I did see that on Saturday, Hubbard legend LJ Scott, who had the single game rushing record that TC had broken, said that he would be at the next home game. So I don't know. If
Let's get him.
Maybe pull some strings.
Kevin Hogue loves us, and we love Kevin Hogue. We shouted him out here last week.
He said, I told him about that pregame when I got there. I said we were showing you love on the Power Hour, and he said he loved it. He was tuned in.
I can't wait. I want to see it. LJ Scott is a guy that I covered back in the day when I was just a puppy growing up through the Game of the Week. So we'll see if we can get him on the airwaves on Thursday. That'd be awesome. For me, guys, I got to be honest with you. I can't just pick one guy or gal. I have to pick an entire defense. I traveled my ass all the way to Toledo. I'm not afraid of it. It was a nice road trip for the wife and I. But what I saw was unbelievable because the Jackson Milton defense was just swarming the entire game, creating turnover after turnover after turnover, and their defense it was like watching the Pittsburgh Steelers on defense because it was just blitzing from the corners, from the edges, right up the middle. I'm excited to see Jackson Milton on defense. It's something that they hang their hat on. It has been for a while. Their coming out party, so to speak, was last year when they started surprising teams, and now they're looking for a championship. So I am excited to see how this Jackson Milton defense continues to progress.
They came out, 5-0 last year? I think they were, 5-0 at one point?
Were they? Was that it?
I think they were, 5 or 6.
I mean, they were outstanding, and a new quarterback, and under the system. So it's gonna be interesting to watch. But their defense, that was the big question mark for me: was are they going to be able to be as good as they were last year? And if how they played against Hilltop was any indication, my goodness, just tune into their games to watch the defense because they are fun to watch. They're blitzing everybody, and they got monsters on the line too. So I'm excited for the Jackson Milton defense. The Blue Jays should be pretty good this year. So that is your players to watch from week 1. So go back and for $2.99, I think you can go and download the games, have them forever, and enjoy it. So that was a pretty cool thing, though, guys. I know that I kind of was like, I want to go to Toledo. Do I want to go? Don't I want to go? But it's one of those things like UT was awesome. It was really cool, except for the fact that I was on top of the moon looking down at the freaking I was scared to death because when we arrived, I looked at the Jackson Milton side. I was like, hey, is it any can we get back there and do it? And they're like, no, and they looked up and they were like, you're gonna be up there. And I was like, oh, that's not good.
I mean, now think of this. I mean, I heard you talking earlier today, okay, YSU is not that bad. Then you go to Toledo. So you're going from, you go 1AA, and then now you're going to a MAC school. Think about if you had to go to an Ohio State, an Alabama, a Texas, one of those stadiums that hold 80, 90,000 people, and you're going to be.
No, I just thinking about it right now gives me the shivers because we got into the elevator, we go up, and then as soon as you get out, it's this really nice hallway, and then you just go into the press box and it's straight down, straight down. We felt like we were looking over top of the players. And I am not a heights guy. I'm not. My wife's sitting there setting up, doing the camera, zooming in and out. I'm getting sick, ready to puke. Couldn't handle it. I'm not ready for that stuff. That's why every time we did the games at YSU a few years back and we were in the big side of the stadium, I was like, hey, does anybody want to go do this YSU game? Because I get I forget what weak in the knees. I get these weird dizzy spells. It's bad. I don't like it at all. But I was able to calm down enough to call the game, and I looked to Sarah. I said, "Let's get the hell out of here. Let's go. I'm done being on the moon." We high five Buzz Aldrin. So that is the week as it was. We got a lot of stuff coming up. Again, if you're just joining us, breaking news on ysnlive.com. Mineral Ridge will take on East Palestine because of 2 cancellations. 2 games got canceled and 1 game is formed because of it. A perfect marriage for this week. Mineral Ridge at East Palestine. Lisbon will not play, and Wyndham will not play this week. So a lot of interest in this week, and when we're still working to cover them. But we have a ton of games on Friday. We have 3 games on Saturday, including Coach Sebring at Ashtabula St. John with the 2 guys you're back there with calling the games.
That's right. They're pumping me for some insider
I need my hat.
just wants a hat.
I just want that hat, Coach.
It's in the truck. I'll get it for you.
All right. I want a hat.
Jeff. Relax, dude.
Maybe a sandwich.
Relax, dude.
Bang energy drink.
Could you get your voice back before you start?
Probably. Probably not.
No, because he's doing. He might be doing a game on Friday night.
The voice with the mustache, it's a little creepy back here.
Hey man, it's awesome.
Why do you think I'm on this side of the table?
BMAC says, Coach, enjoy Spire. Awesome facility, I'm sure.
Thanks, BMAC. Looking forward to it.
I know
Can't
that
wait
Jeff
for-
and Quinn are.
Can't wait for your Sebring football team. I'm excited to watch them.
Yeah, we're excited to debut.
They're my sleeper team. Playoffs.
I appreciate that.
Welcome, bud.
Let's get to well, hang on. Let me get the thing. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Come on. Where's it at? You know what it's time for, boys? Kapak! It's time for your Joe Dickey Electric. What's your spark? Presented by our friends over at Joe Dickey Electric. Paul, you had a chance to talk to Eric earlier today. Loves what we're doing. Loves the Joe Dickey Electric. What's your spark? What is your spark today, my friend?
It's a negative spark.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. Listen, not that it's Monday. I'm happy it's Monday, being on the show and being back, and high school football started. My negative spark is the numbers in my room starting off tomorrow are absolutely insane. I won't be in my room for like the whole first week. There's like 70 to 80 kids almost every period in study hall. So like I got to go to the gym, and I'm not happy about it. So, I mean, can't sit in my room. I got to sit in the bleachers with all these kids. Well, the funny thing is that was being talked about today in our meetings as I was surrounded by the brain trust of, the athletic department and some other teachers. And they're like, dude, there's a cooler and there's a refrigerator right in the coach's office over there. And we can get you a cart and you can wheel your snacks down to the, and I'm like, listen.
Who wants snacks? I got snacks. Who wants snacks?
I'm just going to like push my cart across the gym floor. Got snacks here? Who wants snacks? Like
737. He's got his stewardess outfit on.
In the middle of an aisle in a freaking airplane,
Excuse me, sir. Do you want any snacks? You want your peanuts open for you?
Yeah. Little does she know, I have HBO Max. I have a couple other apps on my phone, and I'll be bringing my laptop too. So I'm not worried about that.
Paul, are you gonna bust out?
Teacher.
You gonna bust out one of those like chairs that they put in the bleachers to make it softer? It's got like the cushion.
Bleacher seat.
Oh no! I'm actually gonna go get the soft, cushy basketball chairs out of the locker, and then I'm gonna sit on those. But it's just I don't know. I don't understand why I got so many kids in my room. It's never been like that before. So last period I have 109. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Because you're one of the best teachers in the school, Paul.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to take your class.
Matter of fact, I actually had a teacher today come up to me, an elementary teacher, and she goes, my son's excited to be back in school this year because he can come buy snacks off of you. And I'm like, oh, great. I'm glad that's what he's looking forward to in high school is snacks and study hall. But, I mean, worrying about his grades a little more. But
we're in a recession, Paul. A recession.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to take a hit first week. First week out the gate. No sales. Week behind. Let's go.
Romo, what do you got?
Positive spark for me. Thursday, 5 o'clock, YSN primetime, Hubbard Memorial Stadium. That's all I got.
I'll take it. Billy Mack, what do you have?
Just positive spark. I got some new people coming in tonight, first timers. So I'm looking forward to spreading the wealth of baseball knowledge tonight.
Love it. All right, down to the three-headed monster we go. Quinn?
I guess I'll go first. Positive spark. I get to go out to Boardman tonight with you guys and watch Steve do Steve Leslie things. You get to hear Coach Antrim talk and maybe hear Coach Seidel speak one day. So
can we be honest? You're really looking forward to the fact that there's food there.
Yeah. Coke is good for this.
Right.
So there.
Matt?
Yeah, I'm going to go with a positive spark, and mine is that I got to come hang out and be part of the audible call on Friday night. It sounds like I may get the opportunity to do that again this week. But the behind-the-scenes look at how it was all running and just hanging out with everybody that was here was a lot of fun.
Jeffrey?
Mine's just to the weekend. It was fun going and play golf all weekend. Someone's calling. All right, turn me down. Hit 6, hit call, turn it up.
No bueno.
That's stupid.
We tried.
Jeff can figure that out. Why can't you, Quinn?
Shut up, Paul.
Yeah, no, just to the weekend. It was a fun. My voice is down in Wheeling, West Virginia. So, yeah. Cheers to that.
I knew it was him. I knew it was him.
Yeah, it was Billy. I could have told you that.
I knew it was him. Positive to get to see all the United East Canton game. There we go.
He's going to call it. He's going to call it this week.
All right. The three-man show, the Sebring show, is going to United, or going to East Canton, rather. Mine is going to be just the fact that week one really was not nearly as bad as we thought it was going to. I thought it was going to be. Last year, week one was an absolute shitstorm. Straight up, no other way to put it. It was like we literally had a typhoon, a hurricane roll through here, ruin equipment, ruin our night. The 999 thing went nuts. Like, people would complain. Week one, 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. One complaint was from one person that said that we played too many commercials during the halftime. I'll take it. Sorry.
Send us some money. We'll play less commercials.
Sorry. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we are a business. We need to have commercials. So unfortunately, that means that you're going to be able to watch them. Enjoy them. So that's going to do it for our show. Tomorrow will be another Power Hour from 3 to 4 right here on the network. What do you want to talk about? Leave us a message. Leave us comments in the comment section. We want to know what you want to talk about tomorrow. We want to talk about your topics. We want to talk about your teams, your players, and of course the things that are important to you. But until next time, that's going to do it for Romo, for Munson, for Mac, for Quinn, for Coach, for Jeff. I'm DJ. That's going to do it for us. We'll see you tomorrow from 3 to 4 right here on the YSN Power Hour. Fly the banner.